like when I pull my hair back, like there's something there, so I don't feel like I'm just like this naked bald-headed person.
Hello.
What a thing to walk in on. Hi, people.
On that note.
Welcome to Sprints. I got a free week of the special StreamYard, and I have no idea how to work it. Everything looks different.
There you go.
So funny.
So hopefully I don't mess it all up.
It's okay. Izzy and I work with it enough because I have the paid version, and Izzy
Yeah,
and I
I'm
share
like,
it.
there's a lot of buttons on here.
There are a lot of buttons.
Yeah,
So
I was like immediately, no, I don't need this. I'm not gonna worry. I'm not gonna.
Well, I was super curious. I was like, what does it look like? Because it popped up and it was like, you have a free week. And I was like, well, I want to know. And now I'm just like overwhelmed.
That's
You're like,
fair.
I am in a state of overwhelm. No, thank you.
Plus, I'm sick today. And so my brain is like, we can't handle this.
Right?
If anyone is here, let us know in the comments what you guys are doing or reading or any of the things. If you're just stopping in to say hi, I'm actually going to read since
Love this for you.
essentially
You're sick.
Yeah. But what are you guys up to? Are you reading?
So I'm going to try to do a little bit of both. I need to edit because I finally got everything pulled off of my phone. So I can actually edit this video now. And then I've got With You, Our Love Will Make It Through, Volume 2. So I plan on reading that. It's like he's a wolf man. She's a high schooler. It's really good, actually.
I was going to ask, I was like, does it fit for both? But it does.
And then audiobook-wise, I'm doing Servant to the Spy Day right now by Ruby Dixon. And I'm actually really enjoying this one. Because it feels different than the other ones in this series, and it's not as long. So that's also helpful. I have like an hour and a half left in it, roughly. So I'll probably finish today.
Good.
I also need to read Sing Me to Sleep During Daylight Hours because I'm a wimp.
No, that's a daytime book. That's fair.
Especially when it's about like sleep paralysis, and I'm a person who occasionally does have sleep paralysis. So like,
oh yeah, then
yeah, I'm not gonna read it once the sun goes down. No thanks.
yeah,
Yeah, I know.
So I might focus on that because I could read this later tonight if I wanted.
yeah.
Well, a lot of people with sleep paralysis were like, no, that will not be for me at all.
That's fair.
Like if I had it constantly, I probably couldn't handle this book. But where I just have it like occasionally, like I can feel her distress in the moment.
Mhm.
But like, because I have already started this,
Yeah.
but it doesn't overwhelm me at this point. So
I
if
feel
it gets
like-
to a point where I'm overwhelmed, I am gonna DNF because I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do that to myself.
I
Yeah,
do feel like the beginning is the only place that's really there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you
And-
could probably skip to and read the rest of the book, no problem.
Yeah, because like all of the heavy stuff is at the beginning with like the intro. And then like the rest of it, it kind of like
And all of the paralysis too. There
yeah,
isn't any
because like
paralysis.
later on she's like more inviting. She's like, I'm gonna pretend.
Yeah, it's a lot though. Like that first little bit is
Yeah, it's definitely one
It
of
could
those
go
books
either
where-
way.
Yeah,
honestly.
you can definitely like read the little intro part. I will say I agree that the actual sleep paralysis part is not as prevalent as it seems in the synopsis.
it's not.
Agreed.
Yeah, and I will say I think the other stuff is almost more
Yes.
intense at
The-
times with
The reason for the sleep paralysis, I think,
The
is
reason for the
more-
sleep paralysis, I think, is more freaky than the actual
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah,
paralysis.
because the
100%.
sleep paralysis, it only happens really like the first time. And then after that, it's a lot of her trying to like lull the monster back or like bring him back rather
Uh-huh.
than it being something that just keeps happening to her. So,
Yes.
Mm.
but definitely if it's not something that you're comfortable with, just
Yeah,
it
we
is not worth.
we here at the Love in the Night crew are firm believers of DNF. Don't do that to yourself. So
Yeah. And if you really are interested but don't want to
queen
read,
of DNFing right there. by the
yeah,
way.
join the live show. We'll spoil it for you. It'll be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true too. I also think it helps that the demon is very quickly fascinated by her and obsessed with her,
Mhm.
Right.
like
Yeah.
messing with her, you know.
I was like, I've already met him twice now in what I've read, so I think I'm gonna be okay at this point.
Yeah, I think
Does
you're probably
anyone
already through
know
the worst
if
part.
Arm Virtues has decided to not continue that series or is going to continue? Because I know they were going to, like that was going to.
Last I heard, which was a long time ago,
Yeah.
but last I heard, he was just talking about how like he does so much research for every little aspect of his world building and stuff, and he was really focused on the Greek god retellings, and that was more
Because I
than
know those ones
he
blew
was
up.
before. And that was
And I understand, especially when you're an indie author, to focus on the series that's working
Yeah.
and the one
right,
that you're making the most money on. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
right.
And if a series, because like Katie Robert has talked about this too, like if a book or series isn't like working for you, as an indie author, you just need to cut your losses and be like, I'm gonna do
Right.
something
Even
else.
though I love the Sabine Valley books and I am desperate for the third book, I understand that she needed to stop.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you have
Or that
to.
they needed to stop. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
Both.
Yeah,
She's she they is
Okay.
Katie's preferred pronouns. So, still last I checked, at least, kind of like Penelope Douglas. Yeah, because I had somebody get mad at me in my comments, and I was like, no, it's both. It's both. I checked.
Yep.
Because I try to check.
Yeah.
yeah.
I do think that that's really difficult and really interesting from authors.
Mhm.
And I do like that Katie, with how well known they are, that she talks about it, because it feels like you've entered an obligatory contract with your readers. Like, okay, I started this, and it doesn't matter if it's 10 years later and I could not care less about this world and these characters.
If Katie ever goes back to Sabine Valley, believe me, I will be on it like a feral cat.
Right.
Like,
and the thing is, no matter what you write, you're going to have readers who are thrilled that this is the book you're releasing, and you're going to have some that are like, I didn't even ask for this. This isn't what I want. Where's X,
You
Y,
make
Z?
everyone happy. So
So you have to write for yourself.
exactly. But as long as the author is happy writing it, then you know it's going to be a good book.
Yeah.
Where Katie got to a point with Sabine Valley where they're like, it's not working. I need to step away from this.
Yeah.
Like, I understand and respect that. And I want them to enjoy it when they write it. Because that means it's going to be a better book.
Charmed Venus. If you read Aveda Vice's Inextricably Tied, because that's probably my favorite depiction of somebody with dual pronouns, because they go back and forth like all the time.
Yep.
And it's one of my faves. Plus the book, just in general.
I mean, I try to default, like whatever I start with, I try to stick with. I guess if that makes sense.
I'm pretty sure Charmed Venus is like an Aveda Vice super stan, if I'm thinking of the right person.
It's one of my favorite depictions of like actually handling dual pronouns really well. Because I read a sapphic romance by an author who just like wrote it off in the first chapter, and they were like, the he was at the front, and so they just called him he the whole book. And I was like, what was the point of that?
I like to use they if I'm not sure, or for anyone who uses it, just because I feel like the default is going to be he, she, whatever you most present as. And so it kind of feels like, I don't know, like something extra that you can do that maybe the average person isn't going to.
And I think for a lot of people, like if you are having a day where that doesn't resonate with you, I want to make sure that I'm acknowledging that versus
no, same. Like I said, I just always want to be like, no, it's okay. Like I just pick one and then I go with it, and I always feel bad because I mean I don't know, I just default one way or the other, and then I try to they for anyone I don't know, because I would rather. I don't know. If somebody really gets offended by that, I have bigger questions for them.
Well, I also know some people do get offended when I think sometimes it depends on your where you fall on the scale of transness and stuff like that. But sometimes people really do get offended by they, because it's like, I don't know, like, because that's not what they picked, right? Like they said, I don't know. They said he, she.
I'm reading Age of Deception right now, where the side character Odin, where they wear an earring to depict whether or not they go by he or she that day. I was like, that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah. I love when, I actually talk about this in my vlog, but I love when you use paranormal things that don't actually exist in our world to play with gender fluidity and stuff. I just think like,
yes, that was a good one.
Why not? And I love when authors do that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I agree. Trans women, I would say, are probably.
Well, and especially with authors now who use like pseudonyms for different like genres or age ranges. Sometimes I don't even always know who it is because it'll be like for T.A. White. Like if I didn't know, I'd be like, that could be anybody. I don't.
Right, exactly.
So a lot of times I'll just default to they if I'm like, I don't know who this author is.
Right. I also feel like in some ways it can be a safety thing. If you use they a lot, then it's not like when you use it for a queer person, it's not like flag. This is the person we're looking for. You know what I mean? I don't know why I think about that. I do know why I think about that. But, you know, I'm just like, if we generally use it, it's safer, I feel.
And also, if you use they, it just outs the homophobes really quickly. No. And you're like, oh.
Plus, there's already so much of the like genderization in romance. Sometimes I'm like, I just always want to use they, just that we're not like
the masculine grunt. The masculine.
That's why whenever someone adds a they to theirs, I do try to use they so that other people get in the habit of using they.
Exactly.
Yeah, there are many ways to be right. I feel like, you know, in this, especially if we're talking about people that we don't know on a personal basis. So it's not like we're actually having a conversation.
And that's why, like, if I don't know their someone's pronouns, I do try to default to they because I don't want to offend. I'd rather they than get it wrong.
I try to too, but I also know that I don't always do it. And I know that part of that is because the entire time that my language was being formed, I wasn't doing that. So it's a more recent, and by recent, I mean like the last 5-6 years development for me. But sometimes I know this, that I default.
It's so hard to unlearn those habits though.
Well, and again, it's like one of those things I think most people understand if you are being obnoxious and evil with it, or if you are trying and they just need to give you a quick correction and you will do the rest.
Yeah,
exactly.
Going forward.
Because I've definitely done it in a live and just been like, that's not right. And like you just correct yourself, like it happens.
Right. And don't make it about yourself. Don't make it about
like that was wrong.
Oh my God, I am so sorry. Please don't think I'm a bad person. And then they have to spend the next 10 minutes comforting me.
Why.
Oh my God, yeah.
Ask me how I know. We're all on the internet. We all know.
Oh God, yeah.
Anyways, I'm reading.
And that's why my intro is like, hey, friends. Like, I don't want to misgender people.
I say hey.
Part of it is like I started doing that because I hated that everyone was like, hey, girlies. And I'm just like, ugh.
Hey, girly pop. Ugh.
I always say, hey, guys. And I figure if I can't handle being called hey, guy or dude, then I guess I should.
Are you bra yet with your kids? Are your boys calling you bra yet? Oh, yeah. Right.
For like a few years at this point.
I figured, but I was like, I'm not asked, so I should ask. That is my favorite thing that happens with kids sometimes. When they just start calling their mom that, and the mom's like,
right?
No.
Like, this feels appropriate. Like, to an animal.
Absolutely.
Sure. But like to
I call my dog Goofy Girl every day.
Yeah.
I call Millie girly pops all the time.
Millie is a girly pop. Let's be real.
Millie is a girly pop. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
What are you reading, Heather?
The sequel to the book yesterday. So yesterday was 3 Mages and a Margarita, and today is Dark Arts and a Daiquiri.
So we have beat the slump. Anything we want to read
now. Unfortunately, this series is 8 books long.
I know.
And it's one of 4 interconnected series, but it's fine. Also, this is weird. Not weird, but weird. And I think it will turn some people off in that the 3 mages and a margarita. In the very first book, she meets these 3 guys and she throws a margarita on them, right?
Mhm.
Well, they're all her friends, but then she's also going to have romantic relationships at different times throughout the series with at least a couple of them. And she ends up with one of them, and it is not wide shoes, it is not overlap at all. And I'm curious. I think I know who she ends up with, but I'm curious to see how that all flows out.
I don't mind that, especially because it's like more of an urban fantasy paranormal situation. So for me, like that makes sense.
Right. I think some people will be very annoyed if they don't know that, and then all of a sudden the love interest isn't working out, or it's not turning into a wide shoes. Because it definitely, like she even says in her synopsis that it's not wide shoes, but like there's a lot of ways that you could interpret it as it's going to be wide shoes and then be annoyed when it's not what you get.
But I also think that like polyamorous romances don't always end in a throuple or wide shoes or whatever. So as long as like it doesn't end in like everybody fighting, I don't think it wouldn't bother me.
I think she thinks they're all.
But it doesn't make sense when they should all be together and they choose to just go one way or the other.
Yeah.
I would rather have them try and have one of them not work.
Yeah. And but they're also all platonic, but also I don't think she dates all 3 of them ever. I think one of them at least stays platonic the whole time, and I honestly don't know who's who necessarily.
Yeah, I don't think it would bother me unless, like I said, it was an actual argument throughout the whole book. Then it would bug me. Like if it was like
the guys don't seem bothered by each other at all whatsoever. No. Yeah, no. We're looking at
like if they all like try and it doesn't work, that's fine. But if you're just like not trying and then choose just one when easily 2 or 3 of them could work, I get a little annoyed.
Yeah. There was one that I read, I think it was on a recommendation from Heather, because it was definitely a chase book, so it had to have been a rec review. But like the hero shares the heroine with his friends like all the time. And I mean, like, listen, with it.
I was raised on Sookie Stackhouse.
Yeah,
paranormal. So we can bop around because I found the love of my life there with Eric. So, and I said, girl, why you would go? No, absolutely not. Break up with that man. There was a hot vampire.
Oh, it's a good choice.
And then I didn't even read the last book because I was so pissed by the end of the 13.
Oh my god.
It was how long was Sookie Stackhouse?
It was a lot.
I must check.
It might be 50.
Not
Sookie Stackhouse is long.
I know. I read all of them up until the very end, in which I said, "I'm fucking done with you, Charlie. We are fighting." 13. I was correct. Wow.
Look at you.
Look at you with your trauma memory.
I read through book 9 and then I abandoned 10, 11, 12. 12 I gave a 2-star and I stopped. I have one book left in the series and I said I'm done.
You're like, I am ready to throw hands. I'm done.
Yeah.
That is like a Heather move to like read all the way to the end. Although I've done that too. I've read a book to like 85%.
Book 13 was not out when I read book 12 and I was not a good DNFer. So we did
gotten much better at DNFing over the last couple of years.
I spoiled myself on it forever ago after it came out. I was like, what happened? And then I was like, oh, I would have been fighting. I would have been throwing that book across the room. I would have been pissed.
I am not afraid to throw a book across the room, though. I've done this since I was a teenager.
Same.
I mean, I don't think the first book I threw across the room was Harry Potter #5 way back in the day when it was first coming out. Before we found out things about certain people.
I can visualize in my head, but I don't read enough physical books for that to ever be.
Now it's more visualizing, so I'm not throwing the Kindle. Not throwing the Kindle or the phone.
Sometimes
I'm not going to throw the Kindle or the phone, but if I have a physical book in my hands and I am upset, I'm not afraid to throw it.
I
hope we can figure it out.
I feel like it is series like this or books like this though, where you kept reading expecting the payoff and you got trash, and that's what leads you to DNFing books in the future. I don't feel like you do until you've had that massive letdown.
Well, I always get the comments too of like, but what if it gets better? And I'm like, it's not worth it. There's other good books out there.
Yeah.
There are so many books in the world. Do not waste your time on a mostly bad book. Period. End of story.
Like it might. That'd be great if it did. I just don't care.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, no.
Yes. Charmed Venus, we need all the descriptions because we can probably ferret this out for you. Between the four of us, we probably can.
Probably.
Although, depending on the year range, there's like a chunk of years where I didn't read anything because of engineering school.
Fair.
That's okay. That's probably when I was deep in.
That's when everyone got deep into
in my bad marriage. So I'm pretty sure I've got you during that.
Well, it was like Hunger Games and like all of those. So I was like, I feel like everybody else can cover those years.
To escape my bad marriage. So yeah, I got you covered there.
Native protagonists from the South, Hunts
Rogue Vampires. Is that the?
Oh, it's a Mercy. Kate Tom. Oh no, not
Mercy
Kate, Mercy Thompson. I was like,
yeah.
And it's
if it's not that, then I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Mercy Thompson
from Patricia Briggs. Is that her name?
Yeah,
I think so.
If not, it might be the Jane Yellow Rock series by Faith Hunter.
I don't think it's Mercy Thompson. The
first book is called Skinwalker on the Jane Yellow Rock series.
That's how you
what's the
Look, I got you.
Author.
I was gonna say there's also the spin-off of the Mercy Thompson one.
I got you, friend. I got you, fam. I got you.
There you go.
Yeah, what's the spin-off of the Mercy Thompson one with the
Alpha and Omega?
Yeah. I was like, because I think the hero is native in that one as well.
Cry Wolf is book one in that one.
You're welcome.
God, that was
there is a spin-off series to that called the Soulwood series that I really love.
Interesting.
It's much more like witchy of the earth kind of compared to the Jane Yellow Rock series. But there are shifter love interests and we're here for it.
I love like figuring out those like random things from like way back when. My first paranormal like YA romance was Blues for Nightmares. And all I could remember like as an adult was that it was blue. And so I remember like typing in a Goodreads and just scrolling for forever. I will find this.
I've done that with a lot of books where I'm like, oh yeah, and then I find it again.
I've had multiple books that tickled my brain for years, and I finally brought it up to my sister, and she 100% knew exactly which book it was, and I could have asked her at any point in our long life.
I love this.
So I just wondered.
Yeah, the Jane Yellow Rock series. But yeah, the spin-off to that is the Soulwood series. It follows a girl who is basically like, she has religious trauma because her family was
animal.
Heather's like, wait, I know this.
No, polygamists. That's it. Her family was like in a cult of polygamists. Mm-hmm. And so like she breaks out of that and she like has these witchy powers. So of course they assume she's the devil. And
yeah.
So good. I really like the spin-off series a lot.
That's fun.
So yeah, it's a good time. She ends up with a jaguar shifter.
You look like you need,
and like the way he comes across as the right kind of hero. Like I love it.
Nice.
And literally, when people like piss her off or go after her, she literally buries them in the woods, and she ends up with vampiric trees because of this. Like I love it.
As she should.
It's amazing.
That's fun. I love moving up the series. Book detective.
Yep, the Soulwood series by Faith Hunter. Highly recommend.
Oh yeah. The prequel of
course it's Millie.
Mallory, ma'am.
It's just a Millie ASMR. We're fine.
You know this. You know the coming into my office. That's Millie coming in. The screaming is peas, dragging me a toy. And then Millie is on her yoga bed. Out. Literally, and she's facing this direction and the mic's right here. Your animals like leave you alone, Robin. I don't understand.
Oh yeah.
Because I am just like a
The
mama
only reason
duck
why
with
one
the
of mine
baby
isn't
behind
bothering
me.
me is because there's sunshine outside and they're taking naps in the sun.
Oh, she's pissed 'cause I'm not letting her outside right now.
Millie or Peas?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's sunny out. She's like, excuse me, why are we up here? And I'm like, girl, I got things to do, like read and file taxes.
Malamutes though are like super independent in general.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll eventually want like pets or something, but then they'll just go to their space.
I'll come to your house. That dog will follow me around.
Oh my God. No, if somebody else comes
She
into
is
the
an
house,
animal magnet.
I'm like, it's
talented all over her.
Yeah. No, if somebody else comes to our house, oh yeah, both dogs are like attached to them. Yeah. But I think now that I like work from home, like I'm no longer that interesting to them.
No, it does not matter how long I've been home with them, how many days in a row. I am the duck with the babies behind me.
The only time that changes is when like me or May is in town, because then they're like
someone new.
And they might, like occasionally when Grumps is like downstairs on the couch, they might stay with him.
Yeah.
But usually at some point in that time,
I was going to say, Grumps gets mad when we're in town because neither animal will choose Grumps. They will choose us.
They choose everyone else.
They choose everyone before him.
I do too. Listen, obviously, I had English and now we got our French. So, you know, who knows what's next in my life. I want a Brussels Griffon, I think, because I also have a weird face. I love weird looking dogs. That's my whole thing. I love.
If I were home more, I'd have a dog. I'm just not home enough.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe a little Chihuahua too, because I think Grumps as a Chihuahua is, as always, hilarious.
I think pit bull faces are my favorite with their little squishy.
I love pit bull.
I love a pit bull face too, but I don't want that big of a dog.
That would be a downsize for.
I know. Well,
it would be.
Your partner is around. Mine is not.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I have to have a dog I can pick up is the rule that we have, because after the 50-some-pound dog, no. Yeah, that 100%. Give me. I have pictures of Grumps with my brother.
Get one of those Chinese crusted, really, really.
I don't know if I would do the skin stuff. I don't know if I can do it. But I have pictures of Grumps, just one arm holding this Chihuahua that is no longer with us. That was named Melky, and it's the funniest thing because his bicep is bigger than this Chihuahua. And the Chihuahua's just like, yay! So I was like, actually, it'd be really funny because somehow
there's a guy in our neighborhood that has a pit bull, and it's cold right now in Wisconsin, and he has different sweaters for the pit bull, and I look forward to seeing them walk every day so I can see this pit bull sweater.
One of my besties has, not May, other bestie has a pit bull, and his name is Jerry, and he's the sweetest little thing. And he is obsessed with Grumps. So whenever we see them, he just follows Grumps around.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Well, half an hour in, shall we actually spray?
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm reading yet, so that's fine.
Yeah, what are you reading?
What are you reading?
I'm going to finish filing my taxes because I got my last form that I needed and actually input it finally while we all chatted for 30 minutes. So I'm going to finish that, but I'm going to read Otaku Vampire's Love Bite Volume 3.
I still need to read 2. I've got 2 floating around here somewhere.
It was really cute. I read it last night. You should get your box today also, Shay. And then I am... where am I?
It's going to feel like Christmas.
I know. You're going to be like, oh yeah, I bought that. I'm 33% into, let's see if it switches. Maybe. There it goes. Maybe Empty Net, which is out today, and I was supposed to have already read it. And I don't know. I had to do that thing where I was like, I'm really excited for this. I don't want to read it too soon. And here we are. It's out, and I need to have a review up today, so that's fine. So yeah, I'll switch to that when I'm done filing taxes and all the other stuff with my manga for the day.
Yeah, this first one I'm definitely editing because my video that was supposed to go up today, I finally have the footage, so now I can edit it.
That's fair.
It's 45 minutes. Good with everyone?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
45 is great.
All right. Then I will see you guys in 45 minutes. Hello, hello.
Hello. That thing does not make a noise? Or did you mute it?
I don't know if I muted it. I'm
Okay.
guessing it's muted. I
Because
was
I
like
like,
waiting for it to make a noise and it didn't. And I was like,
because I like looked up and I was like, okay, and like a second left, and I was like, oh, it's gone. Okay. No noise.
yeah. So maybe I had it muted. How'd everyone do?
I'm proud of where I got. I'm half an hour into like finished product of this edit. It's going to be a fairly long vlog.
Yeah.
It'll be live for everybody tomorrow.
Nice.
I did a fun challenge, so
Oh, I'm excited for it. I'm glad you're able to get your footage off your phone. That is.
I finally had to bring in my tech support husband, and it's like, Kay, I've tried every way I can think of to make this happen. He did it in like 2 seconds, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, I was moving stuff over too.
The thing is, like, when I had it plugged into my computer, just port it over, it wouldn't work. I'm like, what the heck? And he just like clicked 2 buttons, and of course it worked for him because that's just how he works.
Yeah, that tracks.
That's fine.
That tracks.
I realized I didn't do an outro for this one, so I'm gonna have to film the outro so I can.
At least you can do it on your camera, so you know you're good.
Yes. Yes.
That's the one. I need to start editing Love of the Nights vlog because there's probably a lot.
I haven't started filming my Love in the Night vlog, so I need to make sure I film clips for that.
I mean, you're also not 8 books in, no, wait, 3, 6. Yeah, 8 books into Love in the Night.
It's true, I'm not.
So
I'm on my 3rd, 4th. I'm in the middle of 3 and 4. But I've also read a bunch of manga too, so
4 manga for it and 6 books. Probably 7 by tonight.
I'll finish my first one today.
You have a lot of reasons not to. Listen, I'm not. I had 2 nights of no sleep, Robin.
Yeah. Did you actually sleep last night?
Yes, I went to bed. Okay, let me put it this way: I laid down at like 9:15 and got cozy, and then Grumps called me, and I was like, I texted you that I was going to bed, and he's West Coast right now, so like he was still out to dinner, and I was like, you called me, and I was like almost asleep. So, but yeah, I did sleep. I was asleep before midnight, so an accomplishment.
That is good.
I have sucked everyone's reading powers away this readathon.
Yeah, clearly.
I'm actually reading relatively well, though. I'm proud of where I'm at.
Oh,
when the cats hold you hostage.
The best.
I have ordered my lunch. It is on its way. Because I want Thai food, so I'm going to have Thai food.
Yeah.
So I'm not cooking. I'm having Thai food instead.
I love this. That's fair.
That is fair.
I don't think that's a bad choice.
30 and 30 is also happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
exactly.
I'm going to be 60 and 30 sooner rather than later, so it's fine.
I'm like 4 behind for 60 and 30 right now, which is not terrible. There's a very high likelihood of me hitting 60 and 30 right now.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see. I did finish my manga. I finished volume 3, so I'm current with Otaku Vampires Love Bite. This is so fun. I love this series. So it's really fun. So
I really need to read number 2.
You do.
I'm gonna not be hitting the challenge of not buying because I've read over 40, so I feel not guilty buying things.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm sticking to my guns and trying not to buy anything. So we'll see.
But my friend Maeve, who's my big manga reading friend that I like go to the bookstore and read stuff with, her birthday's tomorrow, so we're doing like a Barnes and Noble crawl where we're starting at the one like in downtown Salt Lake City and working our way down to the one by her house. And so there's no way I'm not going to buy at least something.
That's fair.
In all those stores.
That's fair.
So I've got a list and I'm not allowed to go from the list. I can only buy things from my list. That's my rule I'm giving myself.
I think that's fair. I don't think that's a bad.
Because that means I'm only getting things that I'm already actively collecting. So.
What'd you do, Heather?
I read.
You read?
Mostly. I don't know where I'm at. I'm at 32% of this one.
Nice.
Nice.
I moved rooms and got the heated blanket because I was freezing. We got a furniture delivery. Like, they messaged like as soon as we started the sprint, and they're like, "We'll be there soon." And I was like, "Well, I hope you make it back before the sprint ends."
You're like, good timing.
And then I am just past 80% of Age of Deception, so I should finish it.
Nice.
I'd say
Which I need your thoughts by the time you finish this book, because I
loved it.
I have many thoughts and many feelings
She's
right
dying. That's what happens when you read it too.
See, like, I really wanted to jump into book 3. I'm like, but if I do, I won't remember the details for book 2 for the live.
Yep.
I'll wait.
I will be reading book 3.
I might reread it because, yes.
I will be reading book 3 on the 21st.
Same. I was like, as soon as the live show's over.
Or book 2, I'll start on the 21st right before the live. And then I probably am going to, I'm like doing them a week before so I remember stuff. Because I feel like I don't remember things otherwise.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those series that I feel like I can't start the next book until after we discuss it. Because there's so much that happens in a book.
Especially in this book, I feel like there's so much we're going to want to talk about that I don't want to blur it with anything in a future book.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when you get to the end, you'll understand why even more.
Yeah, it's like there's a bunch of like little reveals and stuff happening, and I'm like, I don't want to mix them all up. So.
I think the only way that you can do it is if you then reread the correct book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I'd have to marathon the whole series and then go back and read the right book before each live, and I don't want to do that.
Right.
I won't do that is the real answer.
Right.
I was honestly tempted to with where book 2 ends, but I stopped myself.
Yeah.
Well, at least you
I had Love in the Night starting, so I just started Magic Bites instead, which I've now read.
I was like, you had this, and
I
then
won't be disowned by this group chat.
Yeah, to tide you over.
You get to stay for another month, we'll say. Then you need to read another Alona Andrews to maintain your membership.
We're really
don't
ruthless.
worry. Once I'm through kind of the paranormal's already on my audiobook TBR, I'm gonna go back. So no worries on that.
My copy of the physical one returned to the library because I got it way too early. So I had to switch to the audiobook because there were no more copies left.
Check mine out from the library now that you are saying this, just in case.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really unfortunate.
I know I didn't have any trouble getting them the first time, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
So far, they've been available immediately from my libraries.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I got the ebook like right away, but I wasn't able to renew it because somebody was in line. And I was like, no. But I was able to get the audiobook. Work always, it's just holding everyone back.
Cursed work. I would read so much more if I could actually read at work, but I can't.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like the audiobook either. But it was either nothing or the audiobook. So we're making do.
Yeah, like I understand, like I do wish it was dual narrated where there was actually a man for the men's voices. But like I understand budget-wise why they maybe couldn't.
Just long enough of a book that I don't want to read them with my eyeballs. So it's like it's audio or it's not happening.
Yeah.
But
yes, I agree. I don't like how she does the male voices either.
And I also it's that thing where I'm like, it is what it is. You're an indie author. My audiobook narration expectations are lower.
Way lower, yeah.
I'm the same.
For most indie titles like that pay to get a book because I know how expensive that is.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's like a trade book and I'm like, why did you get like this person? I'll judge you a little bit more because you had money. They had money to spend.
Yeah. When they have the money to spend and they don't, like, that's what I'm like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
But for indie authors, yeah, I'll pretty much let you get away with anything if I can listen to it, as long as it's not like unlistenable.
Well, that's like some of the older graphic audios are borderline unlistenable, and then the newer ones are better. They figured out the mix or something.
Yeah.
And like they're enjoyable.
Yeah, I never did the graphic audios because when they first came out, I couldn't do it with the music because I have this thing with like words and music where I can't like hear words over the music.
No, I get that.
But everyone says to try some of the newer ones because they're much better balanced.
Yeah, some of the like, originals, I was like, these are terrible. And then I tried another one and I was like, oh, this is not bad. So I think they figured out like, oh, we can't do that.
Yeah. We can't just have music playing like the whole time.
Yeah. It's like when it used to be a thing on YouTube where people would play music behind them talking on their videos. It would drive me nuts because I was like, I can't focus on the video now.
Yeah, I will have to get used to it for this first one, but for Magic Bites, because I did listen to a preview. But yeah, I don't know what it is. Like if there's music, I like can't understand what people are saying.
Yeah,
like the layered noises.
I actually really like how the Bridge Kingdom series is done by Danielle Jensen because
that one's good.
It's like sound effects and music like in the chapter breaks.
Yep.
But then outside of that, it's just the narration. And I really like that because it's not overdone.
Yep.
And then I really love the Carabastone graphic audios. They're fantastic.
Yeah. I was listening to one, I don't remember what it was, but they had like a ball in the background, so they briefly played some music and then talked, and it was fine. But it was like it was soft enough that it was fine. But I've had some where I was like, what are you doing? And I had the same issue.
Also in the context of what's happening in the story, it would make sense.
Yeah.
If you were in attendance, there would be that background music.
Well, that was the thing. It worked because it also made sense in what was happening. So
I'm listening to the audiobook for Windweaver because I got it from Berkeley. And there's a prophecy in the book that's like a song. And at one point they like sing the prophecy. And I was like, that was pretty cool.
That's
like
cool.
Because it's like a guy that's like playing the lute or whatever the heck it is. And like they did the whole song. And I was like, I like that.
That's cool. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. I do like
good
the
uses of audio.
Yeah. I agree. You guys want to do another 45 minutes?
Yeah, sounds good. My food should be delivered any second, and I should be able to finish my edit and eat in that 45. So that'll be my goal.
Yeah.
Probably listen to Spy Day while I eat.
There we go. I was like, let me see if I can figure this out a second time.
All right.
Hello, hello.
Hello to you too.
There we go. It always takes me a minute to figure out how to get rid of that.
Relatable content.
How did everyone else do?
The only reading I did was on camera. So that's how much I read. That's how much I was here. But it was fine. Got middle of the day stuff done.
I was like, I assume just like family stuff.
Yeah.
One of the 100 animals finally decided to join in.
I have a cat on my bed too. They snuck in when I came back.
Yeah. Sounds like Izzy's on a phone call and Shay is chatting or filming.
So it looks
Oh
like
yeah, I see. Now she's holding the book.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I have, it says 1 hour left in my book for Age of Deception, but I'm assuming there's like extra stuff at the end. So I think
I don't know.
86%. It's getting good. I mean, it was always good, but like it was getting to the point where I was like, I don't want to stop.
Yep. I know. That's how they get you.
No.
Each book just goes into the next, and you're desperate to know what's going to happen. And then it just keeps going throughout the book, too. It's not like a weird lull in the middle where you're like, all right, like I can quit for the day and just come back whenever. It doesn't matter where you are in any book in the series. You're like, no, I really want to keep reading right now.
Keep going. I love a good lunch nap.
Give me one second.
Oh. I somehow closed the comments here. Okay, there we go. Depending on what other people are doing, I might go for one more short sprint just to finish at least part of this book. And then
fine with me. My mother-in-law is coming today, and she is like my least favorite person in the entire face of the planet. So that's great.
Sorry, I had to film my outro, and that's what I was doing.
I
was like, who is she talking to? And then I saw the book, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. So I was trying to get the outro filmed for this vlog that I'm trying to get finished up. I still have one little last clip, but I'm like, everybody's talking about getting on another sprint. I need to hurry and hop on and say hi.
No.
Is that what you did?
I made progress with Spy Day. I ate my Thai food. It was delightful. And yes, so almost done with this edit. I just need to finish filming this and then put that in. And yeah, so
mother-in-law.
I ended up with awful mother-in-laws in both marriages. So
it helps so much.
Not everybody gets a good mother-in-law.
It helps so much when they are also their son's least favorite person.
Oh, completely.
It's not like sons on
my ex-husband was like attached at the hip to his mother.
Yeah.
So that was a huge problem.
Different vibe.
But my now husband is like, she is Satan incarnate. We have nothing to do with her. And I'm like, okay.
Yep.
He's one of those where he actually loves when I call him a son of a bitch because it's an insult to his mother at the same time.
Yeah. So. My mother-in-law isn't Satan, but she's definitely a little overbearing. But my husband also agrees that she can be a little overbearing. So he's very good at being
like, you and your partner are on the same page about in-laws, then we're good.
Yeah. I think otherwise it literally like strangles the relationship, but
oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The amount of people who assumed I was pregnant when I got married the first time is insane, honestly.
You know what is completely wild to me? Is after I had all of my kids, right? After I had my daughter, I went on, well, I got a IUD. I'm always like, am I saying UTI or IUD?
Say the right acronym.
But I got one, and it like made me gain a little bit of weight, and everyone was like fully
you were pregnant,
thinking I was going to announce a pregnancy. And I was like, just because every time I've gained weight as an adult, I was pregnant, doesn't mean that it's not coming.
Doesn't mean I'm really pregnant.
That means
Thanks
every
for that
time.
assumption. Go away.
Like, and then, like, my mother-in-law specifically, like, every time she saw me, she was like, oh, I thought you were going to tell us you were pregnant. And I'm like, yeah, no, there's no more coming. I'm so serious. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
You're like, no more. We're done. Stop thinking that we're going to have more.
I've almost died 3 times. I think that's enough.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. We are completely excommunicated from my in-laws. We just have my parents, which is great. We just get weird letters in the mail sometimes.
I would like to be, but it's not my side of the family.
I excommunicated myself from my extended family.
Mm-hmm.
I just chose that path and was like, bye.
I mean, I don't really talk too much of my extended. I don't know. I have other family now. Like, friend family is so much better.
Found family, way better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Terrible.
Not, that's like whenever I see the comments.
Really,
like,
in a lot of ways, I've written off my older brother because of who he is now. But my younger brother and I were still tight.
Yeah. It's like whenever I see people like, you would cut off your family for political reasons. I'd cut off my family for a lot of reasons.
Completely would.
100%.
I mean, it's always a thing of like, what do you mean? Because he just tells people he's an orphan, basically. And they're like, why? What do you mean? And he's like, oh, they were terrible to me in a combat deployment. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's why.
Yeah.
But they're the victims. Yeah. Don't worry. Don't worry. They're the victims, y'all.
It's like my parents and my younger brother are fantastic. My older brother is just the epitome of the Trump and Musk loving business dude, bro. So I just cannot with him.
Yeah.
So
that's what I was like, I'm
like, yeah, no, I'm okay to not see you.
Yeah. My extended family is like stuck with the Roman Catholic, like right-wing stuff. And I was like, okay, bye.
You're like, hey, bye.
Especially now that I have a kid, I'm like, I'm not. For what? Like, for what reason?
Yeah.
Grumps has said, maybe I should tell them you'll never meet your grandchild just to fuck with them. And I was like, God, no, because they might show up then.
Yeah. You're never going to meet the grandchild. That's never going to exist.
Yes, your grandchildren are Millie the dog and Peas the cat. You're welcome.
Yeah. Also that, yes, JB, 100% the insistence that like you must find ways to go see them, and God forbid you prioritize your wife in your first year of marriage on deployment, and not your marriage. Your first year of marriage on deployment. Weird choices.
Yeah.
No. Some of them
when my now husband said when we were like dating for maybe a month, he's like, I want a family like yours, not like mine. I was like, oh. What's your family like then? Because we hadn't really gotten to that conversation. We hadn't been dating that long. And he started to tell me little bits of things. Because like I'd met 2 of his brothers because they lived in the same apartment complex that he did. So I'd met them and they seemed fine. And to this day, they're still just fine. Like if they came around, I wouldn't be upset. But like the second he started to tell me about his parents, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Anybody who tells my partner who is like the tender-hearted autistic man that he is, that you're not worth 2 goddamn cents every other day growing up, I am going to want to strangle you. Period. End of story.
Exactly.
And anybody who like has met my spouse and has heard that that's what he heard from his own mother, they're like, where is she? Where can I stab her? Like,
it's just very, very easy to dislike people who have been cruel to the person you love.
100%.
No, believe me, like
You say
in
a
our
word,
in
I'll
our
be there. I'll come kick their ass
chat
for
where
you.
we're all together. Anytime someone's like, "This happened to me," or "My coworker did this to me," it's like, "Do you need me to come and get out?" Like this is the level of the group
We'll come
chat,
beat them
and I
up.
love
Let's
it.
at them.
It's like, do we need to sick us on them? Like May works in HR, and literally right now she's like, "Do you need me to come out here and HR their asses?" To my coworkers that there's some stuff going on at work, but
I just
she's
envision
like, literally, do you need me to come out there and HR their asses because I am livid and I will.
I just envision all these short little white women
Right.
using their powers. Like,
our group
and then
chat.
there's like me and
Couple
Tall Megan,
people.
and like Tall Megan's like taller
Yeah,
than
tell
me.
Megan it has to come with
And
us.
then, like, our little
Otherwise, we're
herd
gonna be
of
like
boys.
this
It's my height and shorter.
short little white lady crew, and they're like, "Who the hell are these women?"
We will take
Taking
you
them out
out.
at the ankles. That's where we're at. That's
Oh
that's
my
what's
God.
going on.
100%.
They would not know what hit them.
They really wouldn't.
Hi, Zoe.
You want a Karen? We'll Karen it up.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Though politically, we don't align with Karens. We need to come up with a different word for that.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll there are times to use the Karening for good.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to use it for It's
That's
often used
exactly-
for the
Use our
power of
Karen
evil.
energy, not for evil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to use it for the Zoe. What? Don't chew on the cords. Don't chew on the cords.
Which child is trying to chew on the cords?
The kitten. Although she's not a kitten anymore. She's one now.
They're
love
always kittens.
positions, Morgan. Let me at him.
She loves chewing on cords. I don't know why. Izzy, I'll kick him in the shins. Seriously.
Absolutely.
That's like all I can reach, but
It's fine.
I can kick pretty hard.
I can kick really hard. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah, as
also
long as
can
you
tackle really well. Because we're already low to the ground. You just gotta hunch and get them at the knees and squeeze real good, and they'll go down. Rugby paid off, y'all. I can tackle somebody real good.
There we go. I did not.
And I also can just bring Grumps, and he'll just glare at them really hard.
There we go.
While the horde of short people like Heather and Tall Megan are standing there like, and Grumps like, okay, y'all are done now. I think they're scared properly.
Grumps is just like, can you just move?
Hurts to see him.
That's too funny.
His brawler phase will come back for us.
Yeah, my husband's not that tall, so
Literally, as a teenager, I had a brute squad because my older brother's friends are actually decent humans. If they found out somebody was being rude to me or like wanted to take advantage of me, like literally one of my ex-boyfriends, they keyed and egged his car. And he'd only had this car for about a week after we broke up.
I was the oldest sibling, so I was the mean one.
I was the middle, but I was also the only girl. So
I was the girl in the squad of
balances.
boys that were friends because I played video games and girls didn't play video games back then.
Yeah, I was the mean one because my brother was younger than me, so I can probably Karen it up pretty well. I'm very good at it, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just have to dig those skills back up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't even get me started on delivery. We're getting our 4th refrigerator next week.
4th in like a short time span?
This year.
Issues? This year. Okay.
Our 4th refrigerator this year. Yeah.
See, when I was in high school, the girls picked fights with me because they thought I liked the guys they like. It's like, no, they treat me like a brother. They're not interested in me. They're interested in you. Leave me out of it.
There's like
I also did not get into the fights. I just watched people beat up.
There's a little thing in my one of my high school yearbooks that somebody wrote in because like you could put like a thing under your name or whatever. Mm-hmm. And someone like crossed mine out because my tagline was always "Why she's such a bitch," because that was like whatever would say about me. Because I like never took anyone's shit. I also went to a big school though, so I mean like
my school is fairly big, so
I don't know.
It's even bigger
had a freshman
now,
campus, and then I moved to Georgia, and I think it was like 400 or 500 kids probably graduating. I have no idea. I mean, I
My
had like
graduating
1,000
class was
before I moved.
350.
I think I had more than that
And
in
that
Georgia.
that was like the classes around us were bigger. We were one of the smallest in that time.
Yeah, I went from like a full blown, like we had a tunnel, we called it the hamster tunnel, to the freshman building situation. That was in Chicago Burbs.
Yeah, we were big enough that we had to have like a separate like middle school and high school. They couldn't like combine them. Yeah.
Yeah. We were all separated, and then
70 people. I think we graduated with like 600.
That's like my nightmare. I need you to understand, like the best thing that
the
ever
classes
happened to
around
me,
us were like 400 to 500 each year, and like
I was somewhere
4 years later when my younger brother graduated, his was 700. So like I just had the weird blip that was smaller than everybody else.
Yeah. Granted, the city that I grew up in wasn't very large, but we were like a Milwaukee like surrounding suburb, and so we bussed. So we had a lot of
Grumps and May both have a facility at their work that is literally like somebody that works there lives right by the high school I went to in Chicago. Because when I went with Grumps, they're like, "Why do you know all these Chicago things?" And he's like, "Well, technically, my wife lived here for a while, and then I moved to Georgia."
Do you still live in Minnesota? I'm in Wisconsin.
She does. She does still live in Minnesota.
Yay,
she's
Northwest.
One of the 2 states I still need to hit up.
Yeah.
It's fine. I found out we can fly into Milwaukee to go down to that facility. So I was like, perhaps
you can save.
with him.
Yeah.
And I will just go get a hotel, and then I will come to your house and hold the baby.
Yeah, there you go. And you can take the train if you don't want to like Uber, you can just pop on the Amtrak straight down there.
Yeah. Nice. Well, and I love the Chicago. They all were like freaking out. They're like, "What do you mean she's going by herself to the city?" And I was like, "Y'all, I'm an adult."
It's Chicago. Like, what do you think?
Chicago. I was like,
I'm a grown ass adult. What do you think I need a babysitter for?
But like, although I will say, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, it's Chicago. I'm gonna be fine. It's the Midwest. Everybody's not like, it's cool.
And even like, I always we have like friends and stuff that have like moved out of the city, and sometimes I'm like, they forget that I'm like, it's not as dangerous as like you make it out to be. It's just because there's over 500,000 people here.
Well, like, I mean, and even in New York, like, I have no concerns if I'm like in the city, because like, if you are lost, a New Yorker will help you. You just gotta be quick about it. That's it. Because you just gotta be quick about it.
I'm like, I'm far more scared being in rural areas at night, not in the city.
Oh, same.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't want to get out of my car at a gas station if I'm in the middle of nowhere. If I'm in the city, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I'm in the city, there will be cameras and people who will see what happens to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Middle of nowhere,
Middle of nowhere, no guarantees. No, thank you.
Yeah, no. Not when you live in the South and there are still sundown towns, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've gotten lost in like the suburban parts of Chicago, and everyone's but
no, so I mean, like, I don't know, like, I tell people all the time, like, if I had to live in a big city and it's either like Atlanta, Nashville, or Chicago, like if I had to live downtown, like in the city proper, those are the 3 cities I'm picking.
Yeah, because downtown Nashville, like when I visited, has not been bad at all.
No, downtown.
Well, and you prepare for traffic.
I love Chicago. It's where originally I thought about like,
I have never been to Chicago. I will go there someday. I've just never been.
Fantastic. I love it. It's just a very, I don't know. Chicago's like my favorite city. It's always been my favorite city though, because like I grew up going to it a lot. And it's just like less overwhelming than New York.
Yeah. It's nice too. Like they have like I
weirdly did not feel overwhelmed in New York when I was there. Maybe it's because I was there on a Sunday.
Maybe. I don't know. I've spent large chunks of time there. It just can get like overwhelming in the way of like, I want to go to this place, but it's like actually kind of further than you think. Chicago, it's very easy to just like get around. Because you got 2 choices. You got the train and you got the buses.
Yeah. I also think it's what you're used to. I have never lived more than like 5 minutes out of like city proper. And
Mhm.
so as soon as it's quiet, I'm like scared because I am used to
And see me, it
sirens,
feels
cars.
like my neighborhood's in the middle of nowhere, but I'm literally 5 minutes from a Target. So it's kind of the happy medium for me.
Yeah, no, you can literally see downtown from our downtown Milwaukee, like the towers, and so you can see it from our window.
See, I like the balance I have of maybe 15, 20 minutes to Target and 15 to Aldi, Walmart, Kroger, any of that. And
Mhm.
then I can go outside and see the fun, different like star things at night.
Oh yeah, no, you
Because
can't.
there's no
There's no stars here.
there's no lights. I'm just rural enough, but I'm not rural really.
Yeah.
Which is
And that's
it's
part of what I
weird.
like about where I live. Like,
Yeah.
I'm half
We
an
are
hour
in the
from an
last
airport.
pocket. Yeah.
Either direction, actually. There's a smaller airport south of me.
Yeah, I'm literally 10 minutes from International, 5 minutes from downtown. And like, if you need a store, they're all here. They're all with it.
Yeah.
You could probably walk. There's a Starbucks 2 blocks that way. Plus, there's a grocery store right past it.
Yeah, no, that's
And honestly, that's far for me because where I lived in like before we bought this house, I could walk downstairs to the grocery store
I love that.
because my building was technically attached to the alley of the grocery store.
Should we sprint one more time? I can probably do one more before I go to bed.
Yeah, if you want to do a half hour.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll let me finish my clip and hopefully get it edited. So
yeah.
Yeah, I need to go on my vlog update.
Mhm.
I need a vlog update too. I don't know.
Probably should just get B-roll of this because why not? We're here. There we go.
Hello, Izzy's vlog. It's me, the star.
The star of the show.
There you go. Come on closer. I'll tell them you're the star.
Hi, Izzy's vlog. It's me, the star. I'm so happy to do this cameo for you. I do have a fee that no one is paying. Thank you so much.
The best part of all of that is she's in my ear and not on the video.
Supposedly the volume is on, but it doesn't work, so we're just gonna roll with
That's
that.
fine.
It is. Bye.
I was watching this time.
It always, I'm never watching the screen on this one. And I'm like, wait, I hear noise again. What's going on?
It me.
I got to 90% into this book.
Oh no.
I know, right? I know, right?
You decided to do a short sprint instead of a long sprint.
I know. I know. I like got to a part and I was just like
You still have plenty of time to finish before baby comes home though.
Yeah.
So.
I only have 30 minutes. I have 32 minutes left. So
Oh yeah, you'll be done very quickly. Which is nice.
yeah.
I think I know which reveal that is then with that much left.
I don't remember. I don't remember what happens in what book.
I was like, oh my god. Oh my god.
But I got
I can see how
I got the clip
her
finished.
pitch is
I
also-
got my edit finished and the thumbnail finished. So I'm in a good spot now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait for the live. Can't wait for my reread, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I see how you binged this whole thing during the last round because
It wasn't
very bingeable.
It wasn't hard at all. Just had to
No,
stop.
it's very hard to stop yourself once you get to that point, is what it is.
Yeah. I didn't go to bed before like 1:00 any of those days.
Ever.
I was reading until I couldn't read anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair though. I mean, that was me last night. I forgot woken up and I read like for 20 more minutes, and I finally was like, no, sleep.
Yeah.
But that's fine because Tegan Hunter usually keeps me up. So the fact that I put myself to sleep means that I was
I'm
tired.
proud of you.
It is chaotic. How was your book, Izzy, Heather?
Nice. Good. Go ahead, Izzy.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was like, who wants to go first? So the duos. I don't care.
Proceed.
Okay. Empty Net is so fun. I'm almost halfway. I have like 8 minutes left in the chapter, but they've entered into their like fake engagement to like get her parents to leave her alone because her parents are like fuddy-duddy rich people and want her to marry like someone that will benefit them. And he's like, surprise, at her dad's birthday, we're engaged. And her parents are like, excuse me?
Say what?
You're engaged to a hockey player? Because like they would look down on her. She's friends with the two heroines from the last two books, like childhood friends, and her dad or their dad was a hockey player. So they always looked down on him because like it wasn't the right kind of rich whole thing. And he's a southern like gentleman type, and it's so funny because he's like very into her, and he's like have to resist things. But then he would one night he drops her off and he's like, you can kiss me if you want to. And then he kisses her cheek and leaves. And she's like, fuck. She's like, she keeps telling her friends, she's like, I don't have a crush on him. I don't have a crush on him.
And now
she's like, I have a fucking crush on him. And he like, she only drinks out of mugs. So she's come over for their first like date to like sort out everything where they have lunch with her mom. And he hands her a mug with the lemonade. Yes. And she's like, nobody notices. And I was like, yes, I love So
we love a hero who notices the tiny details.
He's going on like a quiet hero rec list, I think, because he's very like he's gonna be filthy. Don't get me wrong. It's Tegan Hunter. Yeah. But I do think he's like very quiet and sweet, and it's a very big shift from my alpha.
The secret dirty.
Yeah.
No, I love that.
But, it's very, very cute. I'm really enjoying it as always. Like Tegan Hunter, just even the
like
books I don't
give
love
me
as
a
much.
beta in my everyday, but give me an alpha in the sheets, and I'm really happy.
But yeah, he just like I don't know. He's very cute. He's not a beta still though. Like he's very like he's very southern. Like she's nailing a southern man in a way. I guess is the best way I could put it. Very polite, very like honest things, but he's also not gonna let like. He heard her parents talking shit, and that's why he got them fake engaged. She's like, no, come here. We're doing this. Stuff like that. So, but he's very quiet, like a very quiet, sweet hero. He's a goalie, so he's a weirdo also, because goalies are always weirdos.
Yeah, they're crazy.
So true.
Truly. The little bit of hockey I've read, anytime I've read a goalie, I'm like feral for the goalie. So that tracks.
I always love a goalie.
I'm 44% into my book. Unfortunately,
Oh
for
no.
a while, I'm pretty 1,000% sure I know exactly what's going on. And
Mm.
the character is real slow in the uptake on that. And I'm like, if
It's
I'm
like, come
wrong,
on now, you know better.
surprised. So like everything that we're doing right now is kind of like, I mean, I feel like it's a little bit pointless because I'm pretty sure I know where we're going and you're wrong about everything. But I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
I do
That's
hate
fair.
that when it's like really obvious.
When it's so predictable that you know exactly where it's
Well,
headed.
when it's doing that, like the writing has to be something that's just pulling you through so quickly that you're like, okay, it's fine though, because I'm
the thing
flying.
is, she's isolated from everybody else that she already knows right now.
Mhm.
And she's in this situation, right? And she's positive that this guy is as evil as they come. And I'm like, very clearly not. Everyone's being treated well because he's not evil. Like, 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. Like, can we please just put these very obvious building blocks together?
Yeah. And like I get that that's a pretty classic, especially in like fantasy and paranormal, where it's like, oh, I think he's evil. But at least
But
it's
he's really
usually
not.
like, yeah. But I feel like if it's done right, even when you know it, like from the beginning, it's not annoying. But if it's done wrong, it's really annoying.
Yeah. And it's not even like it's not like super annoying. It's not as annoying as it could be. It's just annoying to me because I don't really care about where we're at. And again, I'm pretty sure I know exactly what is going to happen. So how much of this book are we just hanging out here waiting for you to figure out that everything is fine?
And hopefully like the next chapter or two, she figures it out. And then you're like, okay, cool.
I don't know. Like, and she keeps being like, things are adding up. And I'm like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Like, I beg of you, please. It's just, and it's one of those things where, like, he's wanted by the magical police force or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but technically, so are you. Like, you're not even supposed to know about them. Like, can we please? I just need her to figure it out and or for the guys to come back because they're going to be staging a rescue at some point and she's going to be like, no, don't kill him, it's actually okay.
Just kidding, I love him.
Anyways, I don't know
love him
50% or not, but I'm pretty sure I know exactly everything that's going to happen.
Yeah,
which is fine. It's fine.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, everyone, while I rot away in bed.
Yeah.
I love it for you. I mean, not really, but at the same time.
I mean, I easily could have rotted away all day in bed, but I'm so glad I got things done instead.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope everyone is enjoying Love in the Night. I have no idea if we're going to be doing another one of these, but the live show Forcing You to Sleep will be on Shay's channel this coming Sunday. So we will see you guys then. Bye.